Whoa, quite a mouthful. So basically what that means is I'm brand new in my career, so thank you very much for having me up here. You may have noticed, not only am I not female, my name is not Jane Pointer. Unfortunately, she could not be here with us today due to an unexpected business issue, but she sends her apologies and best wishes for a successful symposium. Do I have a clicker up here? Is that what this is? Okay, we'll give it a shot. So instead, anyway, you get me, the downside being that you don't get a CEO. The upside, however, being that you get someone who's giving probably not only the pinnacle presentation of his young career, but hopefully the first and one of many that will aid our entire industry. You know, it's the culmination of my young 24 years of dreams, and in so doing, I thought it would be best to weave some of my story into Worldview's story. So that's where I'll start. I started out my career chasing what probably every 20-year-old young business person wants out of life: $1 million, a private yacht, 3 models of different Tesla cars. Then one day, after almost 2 years of 14-hour long days, climbing the corporate ladder just like this, trying to add 0.3%, 300 basis points of margin onto a product line that I knew nothing about and probably cared even less about, I woke up. I began to ask myself what really mattered in life. After a few sleepless nights spent with Stephen Hawking documentaries, my favorite Asimov books, I knew I had the whole equation wrong. I wanted my life to have meaning. I saw a good TED video, some of you may have seen this, where they talk about living your life as a eulogy instead of a resume. And that's when things changed for me. As a child, I always dreamed of contributing to what I thought was the next greatest and most important technological chapter in human history, that being opening private and commercial access to space. And now at Worldview, we are at a humble beginning towards achieving that goal. My story ends and Worldview's begins when I had an inspirational and deeply philosophical conversation with Worldview's CEO, Jane Pointer. To her, creating access to space for citizens held limitless possibility and opportunity for impact. It had the power to affect things like this. It had the power to affect things like this and this. So we could see a world that was borderless. Overall, it was about personal discovery. To sum it all up, it was about this. It's because the power that a new perspective, literally and figuratively, can and will change the world. How will it shape politics, commerce, philosophy, society, and the very nature of humanity, him or herself? We don't yet know, but at Worldview, we intend to be shepherds of the answer. Worldview is about seeing the world from an entirely different perspective, and how you do it, in our eyes, makes all the difference. We're creating an entirely different private spaceflight experience, one that emphasizes accessibility, comfort, and the transformative power of a priceless view. We'll carry our Voyagers, as we call them, and payloads and scientists and students 32 kilometers above the Earth, situated comfortably inside of this pressurized capsule. And that capsule is suspended beneath a 40 million cubic foot high-altitude balloon constructed of high-performance polyethylene film. So this creates an experience like no other. Our technology is not only trusted, it's reliable, it's been around for decades, high-altitude ballooning. And in a relative sense, it's low cost, which allows us to open up access to this unique perspective at an unprecedented ticket price, which, by the way, tickets are on sale, so if you're interested, come talk to me after the talk. The voyage is relatively long in duration, allowing our Voyagers to soak in and enjoy the view and share it with others back on Earth below. We will have Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can tweet, you can share on social media while you're up there in space. And it's a peaceful experience. There's no zero gravity. There's no adrenaline rush here. It's accessible with little to no barriers to entry for anyone and everyone. And of course, the view, right? It's in our namesake. The view is what it's all about. The view offered by Worldview is nearly identical to that offered by suborbital spaceflight providers, with the added benefit of being able to stay aloft for hours as opposed to just minutes. But I mean, put this up here, but we're in this together, right? We don't view Virgin Galactic X-Corps as competition. We never have internally, and we never will. We see ourselves as a complementary experience that fills a niche in the marketplace that appeals to an entirely different segment of customers. People looking for a general alternative to suborbital spaceflight. But, of course, in addition to our private Voyagers, our platform appeals to a wide range of commercial customers as well. We are pioneering a new area of discovery, both personal and scientific, at the edge of space. For researchers, scientists, students, educators, I'd love to stand up here and tell you about all the different applications that we're capable of doing for people, but that would take forever. So you have to use your imagination. How could you benefit from a gentle, long-duration, 130,000-foot flight into the stratosphere? We're creating a routine, affordable access to this environment. And if you have the idea, we can do it today. Our unmanned flights are open for business right now. Come to talk to me after this talk. If you have something that you're interested in discussing, I'll be sure to put you in touch with the right person internally. But today, we are well on our way towards opening routine access to the stratosphere. I mean, if you look at our team, you always rest an idea on the team that builds it, and this is second to none. And in terms of technical progress, we're already making leaps and bounds as well. Just recently, back in June, we completed a successful 10% scale test flight of our full flight profile. That carried a 900-pound payload 120,000 feet into the air, deploying a parafoil on descent at 50,000 feet. And when we did that, we broke the world record for the highest parafoil flight ever conducted, and that validated the full flight profile of our system, including things like ground operations, our landing protocols, and a precision-guided landing system as well. Real quick, we do have a short 1-minute video about that test flight that I just wanted to show you.
We began working on Worldview in 2011, and we tested components of the system and subsystems at smaller scale leading up till now. But this was the first time that we'd sewn all of the different parts of a full flight together.
Worldview is about giving people that incredible perspective of seeing the Earth that we live on as a globe in the blackness of space.
We have experts in the parafoil system, we have experts in the flight and balloon control system. The big advantage of a balloon is that it has so little energy.
Imagine getting into a capsule pre-dawn, start gently rising up.
Floating to the top of the atmosphere. We cruise for about an hour and a half at the flight. Got great views of our Earth and the blackness of space. Then we start to descend to a lower altitude where we then transition to essentially a big wing and fly down to a location that we want to be. The test flight was phenomenally successful. We got data in every part of the flight. We smashed records for altitude flight with the parafoil, came down to a perfect landing. It was recovered by the team. We were just thrilled with the results and the success of this test flight.
So as you can see, we're already doing it today. We're actively out in the field testing. A lot of activities going on. And if you noticed in that video, the parafoil, you could see the blackness of space behind the parafoil, and that was the very first time anyone had ever flown a parafoil at that altitude. So we're very excited about the things that are going on, and it sets us up really nicely for the remainder of our development schedule. You can see the road ahead mapped out here, and that'll set us up to launch commercial operations towards the end of 2016. So we'll send our first private paying Voyager into space, edge of space, at the end of 2016. Of course, in doing so, as with every commercial spaceflight company, when we're talking about manned flights, safety is our #1 priority. And the main safety feature here is what we call our proprietary parawing feature. And that's a design parafoil that stays open the entire flight to allow the capsule to glide back down to Earth at any point in time should something go wrong. The vehicle will have 2 pilots on board, but can also be operated by mission control on the ground if necessary. And the capsule itself and the launch system were also designed with safety in mind in particular. So our fully pressurized, environmentally controlled, space-rated cabin has a launch cradle, which you can see in the bottom picture here, that will allow for a complete system inspection before final takeoff. And just so you get an idea of what the space will be inside the capsule, here's a sneak peek into the designs inside of the capsule. The first thing that might jump out is the bar. We do have a bar on our spacecraft. Voyager space would be incomplete without a martini, so that's on there. But if you have a bar, you have to have a bathroom as well, so that you'll also notice that. But more importantly, we emphasize the view. So if you see where these seats are situated, each passenger on board our capsule will have an unprecedented range of view to look out the window. That's what this is all about. So from head to toe, they'll be able to see unobstructed the world and space and stars outside the capsule. And just to close out, I mean, we are no longer a concept. We're at a humble yet powerful beginning, and we're well on our way to pioneering a new age of commercial discovery at the edge of space. And as Pat said in her message to all of us in our program, gratitude is the greatest source of power and energy. So I'll end by thanking all of you because you've set the foundation here for the past 10 years for things like this to be a reality and for dreams and careers like mine to be a reality and the countless people that'll come after me. So thank you for pioneering the industry, for building the infrastructure, developing the technology, creating the opportunities, and of course shaping public perception and policy in favor of our industry. For that, you all deserve the round of applause. Thank you.